What's up, guys and girls? Today we're going to be talking about the general biological and evolutionary logical reasoning behind why girls or guys end up being attracted to a certain type of illogical person. And I'll give you an exception if you guys haven't seen any of my videos, but ultimately I've said this quite a few times in other videos, but today we're going to be focusing on the evolutionary and biological reasons rather than more generic reasons behind it. So the clear example is, oh, why do all girls like assholes? Or why do all guys go after these prissy, stuck-up, popular girls? You get the idea. So first off, again, I'll give you an exception if you've never seen my videos. You should know by now that these are misconceptions. To even pigeonhole that all girls, or a majority of girls, or most girls, or greater than 50%, I think that's absurd in our day and age, and I think it comes from an easy excuse, or not really experiencing or meeting hundreds upon hundreds of people in your lifetime. And not everyone has that opportunity, but once you realize the diversity after meeting all those people, you realize it's not even close to that. There's plenty of people who hate assholes, who have girlfriends or boyfriends with very sensible people. You'll get the point. Having said that, though, let's get to the biological reasons why there are people who fit into this mold, and that's why this misconception or this myth sort of pops up out there. So it is sort of true in certain ways. You will see girls who, for whatever reason, are attracted to these sort of guys who are very, very philanderous. They'll cheat, and then they'll break the girl's heart, but then ultimately, what do you know? She's back with another girl, or another guy, just like the first, very similar, and who's cheating and so forth, and the cycle continues and continues. So I think this video is very, very useful for anyone out there who finds themselves in these sort of situations, because there are plenty of real life examples like this. And if you know someone like this, please share this video with them, because I really think it will help. So ultimately, why is this happening? Evolutionarily, we are like every other species. People like to think that humans are so superior. It's not the case. You and me are just mammals. We are just mammals. We're just more intellectual, not even that intellectual, to be honest. But we're getting smarter as a population, not as individuals. And because of that, our purpose ultimately is survival and reproduction as a species. Obviously, there are people and individuals who break free of this. A good example are monks who don't need to survive and reproduce. But as a species, our biology is still programmed for this. And you will see this in a lot of our behaviors that are so pre-programmed in us that we do not need to think or decide before they automatically react. So, for instance, think about it. Think about emotions. Every emotion ultimately evokes some sort of reaction at times, which sometimes you don't really have to think about before your body ultimately reacts for you. And when a girl is attracted to a guy, it's all because that in the past 1,000 generations, the girls who were attracted to these guys for these traits had a higher chance of survival and reproduction. And by their existence, it proves it. It proves the rule, because those who survived and reproduced passed on their behaviors to their offspring. So the females who more so were attracted to these types of guys ended up surviving better, and therefore they passed their traits for being attracted to these types of guys to their offspring, and then for their daughters had a slight more attraction to these sort of guys, and it sort of builds over time until ultimately there's a solid attraction for these types of guys. And by these types of guys, I more so mean these factors in guys. There's multiple factors, many factors that girls find attractive, all that ultimately point towards survival and reproduction. That's probably the quickest, simplest way of figuring out which things are attractive and not attractive. And you can just go through the list. Money. Why is that? Why do girls like money? Well, better resources, better chance of providing for offspring, better chance for a good life for myself and for my children. And let's dump all the generic, obvious, common sense ones. You can go through them yourself. Let's look at some unique ones, and to illustrate how many different factors there are. What about having a high self-esteem, or being very confident in how you talk, not stuttering too often, having a very strong sense of identity in yourself? Now that's different from being rich or being good looking. Why would a girl be attracted to this? And as you can see, these are just two out of the dozens of factors out there. Well, again, it all comes back to survival and reproduction. The girl who is attracted to these sort of things will survive and reproduce more. Why? Because the guy who's assertive is a good leader. A good leader denotes either alpha male or someone who is capable of providing, hunting, leading the group, creating resources, either money nowadays, or back in the day it was simply whatever they hunted, and so forth. And all these things are better than the opposite, which is, stuttering, weak sense of self, will crumble each time someone talks to them, scared, weak identity, will bend to anyone's direction. These sort of things usually just denote a weak person, or someone who's just not the top of the pack, usually a runt of the pack, or someone who's not going to succeed in possibly many avenues of life. And so you get these sort of things. As a disclaimer, nowadays I definitely think that there's a lot of things that you can change if you have these sort of things like I have had. You can work through them, work on them, practice on them, and get better at them and change. Stuttering, obviously, is something I'm still working towards. In my videos, they don't come across, but outside, it's different. Okay, so having said all that, let's just get back to the main point. Why do these girls like these cheating assholes? Well, it's not that they ultimately like these traits. They don't. It's the variety of other factors and traits out of the dozens out there that they are attracted to. And ultimately, it comes back to the fact that it is these factors as a culmination are a rare, one-of-a-kind product that they can't find as often with every average Joe. So therefore, the female who goes to the bar and or wherever they meet these sort of guys, they realize that these guys are not run-of-the-mill, not someone they could just walk up to the street and find all these factors in. And these factors are stuff, not the fact that they cheat, but other things. Maybe a good sense of humor. Why does a sense of humor denote something better? It denotes stuff like happiness, entertainment, a good relationship, a good chemistry, many different things. And that's why it's one of these factors that denote possible attraction. Because all those things are very important when you decide to spend your life with this male, and then raise your child with this male. You want to have good chemistry and a good relationship. You get the point. So stuff, maybe not humor, maybe it's assertiveness, maybe it's no fear in speaking his mind and interrupting you when you speak, or assertiveness, good high sense of identity, um, not being afraid to speak your opinion even if it will put off others. These are things that in itself just are very good attractive traits, and you can see from a survival and reproduction standpoint as to why. If you still can't, just look at their polar opposites. Think about the guy who's just always scared to interrupt a girl, is always scared to literally go up to a girl and speak his mind, or go up to a group of people, male and females, whether it's at their career or at their job or in school, and they're scared to speak their opinion because they're scared that it will piss people off, or that one person out of the 10 people in the group won't like them. Those things inherently do not entail success in a lot of ways. So you can see why evolutionarily these things sort of have over time culminated to what they are. And so, some assholes will be very rude to the girl, but they'll speak their mind. And